Hello, my name is Alexander, and I am a 6-year Army veteran and was a combat medic.
Hey everyone, I'm Reno Averill, 4-year Army veteran, where I served as a field artillery specialist.
Hi, my name is Vince Brunstead. I'm a 6-year Navy veteran and cryptologist for the duration of that. So to kick it off, what is the Trendy investor? As an average stock market investor, I wanted to be able to stay up to date on current events, but I don't always have a lot of time to search across multiple news outlets and social media to get an idea if I'm reading a major news story or just a one-off. That's where Trendy Investor comes in. Trendy Investor is an online, real-time news source for stocks and crypto coins. Our application allows the user to visually see what sectors and stocks are getting talked about across news outlets as well as social media. That data is then compared with historical averages and displayed visually to the user. Armed with such knowledge, the user can dig into those specific trending sectors and then view up-to-date stock information and news. It's a great tool for the average investor who just wants to stay up to date on current events. Time is a valuable commodity. The Trendy Investor provides a one-stop shop for news, stock, and crypto data. This allows the user to acquire all the resources needed for researching the events of the day that will have the greatest impact on the market. So why use the Trendy Investor over any other news outlet? Well, what the Trendy Investor provides to the user that other news outlets don't is that we include the popularity of hot trending events based on the volume of discussion across various social media outlets. There are many ways for the average investor to read up on current events. The Trendy Investor gives the user access to not just one source, but it allows the user to truly grasp the significance of current events and provides that user the tools to dig deeper. It's uncomplicated, easy to use, and it allows the user to create customizable watch lists to track stocks, crypto coins, and favorite articles they find interesting so that they can stay on top of current trends. So with that, I'll hand it over to Reno for a quick demonstration of our application.
All right, thank you, Vince. I appreciate that. So recently, a close friend of mine mentioned a cool new website that allows me to stay up to date with hot new trends in the stock market. I figured I should probably make an account to stay trendy. Let's log into the Trendy Investor app and see what's going on. The Trendy Investor allows me to view market sectors that are being talked about by comparing historical trends to current article output volumes, all while letting me easily choose between different sectors so I can take a deep dive into the subject matter at hand. They also provide the day's market movers that are just right there on the right. So let's scroll down the page a little bit and we'll be able to view some market data. Let's take a deeper look and to see what the news outlets are saying. Seems like Biden's addressing the nation on the war in Afghanistan. I should probably keep this for later because it's sure going to affect the defense sector in some way. Well, heading over to the categories page, I can really research more into the armed forces sector. Looking at the chart, it looks like the volume is much higher than historical averages. I didn't realize what a major effect this was having. Good thing the Trendy Investor is helping me stay up to date so that I can do my own due diligence as an informed, trendy investor. Now for some more good insight, let's head over to the Trendy blog and see if anyone's talking about defense-related stocks or crypto coins. Wow, sure does look like Lockheed Martin is making steam. I sure wish I knew about this awesome app when GameStop was blowing up earlier. I wonder how Lockheed Martin stock is performing due to all the extra attention. I'll just type a ticker in here. Boom, look at that. Real-time market data populated with recent news articles about the company. I should probably add this to my portfolio so I keep an eye on things. As for the crypto market, Bitcoin always seems to be a fan favorite. Also a good thing to check on them and see how the trend is moving. Remember, the trend is your friend. Yep, I'll be for sure adding this one to the portfolio as well. All right, as a trendy investor, I like to keep organized and stay up to date with what's happening with my favorite picks. Thanks to Trendy Investor, it's because of you that I now know that investing in the trend is truly my friend. Well, that's a quick demo from the Trendy Investor. I would now like to pass it off to my partner, Alexander.
Thank you, Reno. As far as being able to communicate efficiently with each other, we use the following tools to do so. We spent the first couple of days of our project planning our application in detail on Trello. In addition to planning our project in depth, we used Trello to help us stay in sync on what each team member was doing. Additionally, stand downs and stand ups were provided a time for us to discuss what we accomplished the previous day, what we planned on working on today, and any problem areas in which we encountered. Zoom and Slack were a great medium for the group to communicate and allowed us to connect with ease to stay on track with the duration of the project. Utilizing pair programming was a great success for our team, allowing us to tackle problems quickly and efficiently as a whole. Working on a team is rigorous on its own, but our team did a great job tackling all of the challenges we encountered. One of the challenges we encountered was that each team member was in a different time zone, spanning from Mountain to the Eastern time zone. This required us to be flexible and communicate efficiently with the team's availability throughout the day. The discussions brought amazing ideas to the table from each group member, requiring us to make tough decisions on which features to implement and which ideas will have to be set aside for a later date in order to meet our deadlines. The Alien API was a wealth of information, but required the group to be creative in order to successfully retrieve the data. Additionally, the extensive documentation was both helpful and time-consuming to read through. Working in a group on GitHub was an excellent challenge, and working together, merging our different coding styles into one application. Our tech stack consisted of a Django backend, a React frontend, and a Postgres database. The APIs we utilized consisted of the Alien API for the majority of our news data. The News API allowed us to include a more diverse selection of news articles. And last but not least, we used TD Ameritrade and Anomics API to pull real-time stock and cryptocurrency data. And with that, I'll hand it off to Vincent.
And the last thing that Team 3 wanted to express was just we want to take a moment to really thank everyone involved with Code Platoon, between the staff, instructors, TAs, mentors, and guest speakers. Everyone's really just gone above and beyond. We can't thank you all enough for helping take us from that hello world stage all the way to deploying our own full stack applications. And we're just really excited to have had this experience and be able to go on to that next stage of our career in technology confidently. So thank you. And with that, I'll open it up to the floor for questions.
Great. Awesome job, the Trendy Investor team. So you've got several questions from the chat. So how did your team decide on the tech stack for the project?
Yeah, so I can take that one. So I know the other team started with Firebase, but that was kind of a new concept. And the big reasoning was that I already worked out the niches on the authentication for the backend for users to log in and have their own data displayed per user. And then for the front end, we're all pretty comfortable with React and using components in that aspect. So that went pretty well. For the API side, we just found good news source articles and APIs to utilize there. And then I'm a big investor with TD Ameritrade, so I love their API. We just found another one for crypto as well.
Great, awesome. This kind of goes in line with your APIs. So how did you select? How are you generating the news articles, or I guess the links? And what was your process of choosing the best APIs?
Absolutely. So I can take this one. So our process relied a lot on our ability to input our search parameters into that API and then what information that API was able to return. So there were some very simple news API, which we did end up using for the stock articles that were returned. It was a very simple application to input some keywords and have it return any articles with either the body content or the title that contained those keywords. For our Align API, that was a lot more useful for the analysis portion, where we needed to be able to track the volumes of articles by day. We needed the URLs to those articles as well as, one of the stretch goals that we were looking at implementing that we didn't quite get to was, displaying the sentiment of those individual articles by category as well. So that Align API really had a wealth of information, both to that it would return to us, as well as the search parameters that we were able to put in really helped us narrow down those individual categories so that we could accurately display to the user by category what what that trend was looking like within that category. Yeah.
Great. If you utilize Zoom to do pair programming or any other type of application, what tips would you share to make a successful remote pair programming session?
So I can answer that, Tom. I guess some of the lessons we kind of learned and early on was kind of just being open to communicating any ideas. Any ideas are a fair game at this point, and that's kind of where you have the Zoom or you have Slack, whatever you're using to communicate with, to kind of throw all those ideas together, kind of vote to see what meshes together and what doesn't. Definitely, communication is also a big component of the success of a team. Just learning how to not step on each other's toes and kind of communicating what are you working on and what is the other person working on to kind of reduce the amount of merge conflicts you may have later on whenever you're sending up commits to GitHub.
Great. What were some stretch goals that you wish you could have had implemented but didn't have time, or what were some nice to haves that you just couldn't implement?
Yeah, so I could take this one. So we all kind of thought, well, it would have been super awesome and super nice if each user could add their own profile, and so a profile image, and make it more like a social media platform, less or more, where users would be able to personal message each other, or even send out a text or email, alerting other friends or associates of their daily stock picks or watch list. That would have been really nice to implement, but stretch goals.
And additionally, I can just add on to that. One of the other things I would have really liked to implement was we wanted to try and display a trend in a category, and then try and feed that user down from that trending category down to recommending individual stocks that were perhaps mentioned within articles in that category, and kind of try and not make stock recommendations to a user, but identify things that user should potentially look more into, and conduct further research on the website. So parsing through those articles and pulling out those stock tickers that were mentioned was one thing that we didn't quite get to that we would have really liked to implement.
Awesome. Great. And that concludes the questions for the Trendy Investor. Great job,